Welcome to my podcast. My name is Corrinala. I come to you from the Pacific Northwest where I live with my partner, our 2 kitties, and 2 adopted Mustangs. Information about the Wildhorse adoption program will be in the episode description box. This podcast covers knitting projects, my horsemanship journey, and my other passions like vegetable gardening and bicycling. If you're new here, I hope you find the content interesting. If you're a returning viewer, it's always great to have old friends. The format of this channel typically includes musings on an early walk to the barn to feed the horses, then knitting content, some catch up on the horsemanship journey, and finally more musings or maybe a little bicycling footage if I was lucky enough to get out. Enjoy, and I hope to see you soon. Good morning, friends. It is October 10th, Friday, 2025. It is almost 8 a.m. Nice, lovely fall day. We've had some rain, which is awesome. We really need it. This is the walk out to the barn to feed the horses. If you haven't been here before, if you're new, welcome, and of course welcome back to all the subscribers that listen regularly or tune in or watch. So the first thing we have to do is turn on the water to the barn. I turned it off at the pump house because there's a leak and we have a lot of other things going on right now, so not a huge priority to fix it compared to the other things. I just came back from a conference, actually 2 conferences. The first one was in Wenatchee on the east side of the mountains where there's 2 big fires burning north and south of Wenatchee, mostly a little bit to the west, I think closer to the mountains, but it was incredibly smoky. So even indoors, many of us were getting kind of sore, scratchy throats, and coughing and sneezing and all that kind of stuff. The air quality, if you've ever seen an air quality index, the color was purple, which is extremely unhealthy. So I didn't spend any time outdoors, which is unfortunate because Wenatchee is a beautiful place. I made one presentation there, was invited to speak impromptu, and I did. That went over well. I'm comfortable enough with public speaking that at least if it's a topic I know about, I don't mind getting up and talking without any preparation. And then I had to go to Tacoma, which is south of Seattle, for the second conference just to pop in and do a presentation. I don't know if you can see the horses over there under the tree, just raiding a little bit. My neighbor took care of them while I was gone, so I fed them last night. I have a lot of chores to do, including refilling hay bags and catching up on manure picking and all that kind of stuff. Knitting wise, I did a little sock knitting, and I worked on a sleeve on the ghost horses, but honestly didn't make a ton of progress. Sorry, it's dark in here. I'll talk more about the knitting during the knitting segment. Hi friends. Welcome to the knitting portion of my podcast. I'm still tired, I admit, from the conference. It was really intense. It was very good. I made a lot of connections and had a lot of new ideas about my work come up and how I'm going to proceed. Also, I was trying to somewhat keep up with work, which is really difficult to do. I didn't sleep well the night before I left. Slept well the first 2 nights of the conference. So Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday was the most intense day, and I did not sleep well that night at all. So I had to go to Tacoma, as I mentioned, and because of the wildfires, the most direct route was not available. So I ended up having to go quite a bit east to go south. And that, of course, added extra driving time. And coffee and probably junk food for, coping. And then I had the presentation, and then it was, coming home wasn't too bad. It was like an hour and a half. So not bad at all. There was one accident on the freeway that didn't slow things down because it was just right after lunch, and traffic is usually going pretty smoothly by then. But I don't think you're here to listen to me go on about work. I just want to apologize for kind of having some low energy. It is sweater season, shawl season. I'm really happy about that. So I'm wearing a shawlette. It's the Holden shawl. It's made out of a lace weight yarn. I made it quite a while ago. In fact, I think it might have been like one of the first projects I ever knit. I want to say maybe 10 years ago. I wasn't wearing it so much as a shawlette because it would just keep coming undone and fall off. So I crocheted it together. So now it just is more like a cowl, and I like it a whole lot better. So this is one of the outfits that I wore. I just kind of wanted to show how I style it. I guess that is the lingo. And so a black jacket. This is almost I would almost call it like a bullfighter jacket. It doesn't, but it has buttons that are decorative only, and it's short in the waist. It's cropped, but it goes well with high-waisted pants, skirts, and then a nice little shawlette. I'm also wearing DK. No, they're not DK weight socks. I don't want to show them to you. I will put them in the show notes what they are. I finished them. I'd have to look at my notes. I either finished them earlier this year or late last year, and it's out of the 52 weeks of socks. So it's made out of the Patton's Croy, which is a little bit heavier weight yarn, and they're quite warm. So I hope you have something nice to drink. I'm still drinking green tea that I kept on my cup warmer while I was out feeding the horses. The chores took a little bit longer today because it was hard to see in the barn because it was dark, but there were a lot of hay bags to fill and a lot of manure to clean up and stuff like that. But I got a lot of it done, so I'm pretty happy with that. If it sounds like I'm stalling about talking about the knitting, I explained why on the way to the barn. I just really didn't get that much done. So I'm not going to share any of my whips, of which there are many. I'll talk about them. So, and I'm looking at my notes. So ghost horses, I'm still working on the same sleeve. I think it's the right sleeve. Love note, I was hoping to have that finished, but I didn't take it with me. I took the ghost horses and worked on that a little bit. I'm working on the second sleeve of the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. Ghost Horses is by Caitlin Hunter. I also took the Sockoween, the Spooky Kooky socks, patterned by Kay Jones. And I left the Mystery Cowl by Tellybean Knits home because I wasn't going to be able to download the pattern. I worked on that a little bit this morning. I still have the So Faded by Andrea Mowry on the needles. The Talvinen by Caitlin Hunter that I accidentally cast on a week or so ago and then haven't really worked on. Purr-fect Colorwork Socks by Charlotte Jones. Not Charlotte Jones, Charlotte Stone. The 100 Acre Wood Blanket, which I typically work on Scrappy Sunday. I don't think I worked on that at all last Sunday. I'm trying to avoid getting the hiccups. Lemontop Socks, also by Kay Jones, that are in hibernation status. So, excuse me. Let me show you the, so this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. So I am going, if you don't want to see it, I am on clue 6, and clue, I want to say 10 came out this morning. So I downloaded those, but I am going to show where I'm at. I'm almost done with clue 6. So I'm using scrap yarn from my stash. So this is a big, this focus this year and all my projects is really about stash down. So I'm on the colorwork section of the cowl, and it's in the round. So let me get it arranged. And then, okay, ready? If you don't want to look, now would be the time to look away. So 3, 2, 1. So this is what it looks like. So clue 1, clue 2, this was kind of a neat technique here. Clue 3, kind of this texture pattern that looks like pumpkins. And then let's see, what is this kind of turquoise color? It's also a texture pattern. I can't remember what that is supposed to represent. And then this color work, which is, well, I won't say it out loud, and I apologize if I gave away any of the textured part, but here it is again. So I'm going to work on that today, and I'll talk about knitting plans. So I have put it away, so if you had your eyes closed, feel free to come back. So almost done with clue 6. Herbert's behind me, scratching on the carpet. So my plan, last night I worked on the love note. So I really want to finish the love note by next week. So focus on that. Focus on ghost horses, I think, after that's done, and then try to keep up with the clues for this mystery cowl. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Have any of you been following along with the Stephen West shawl knit along, the mystery shawl knit along? I have not. Well, no, that's not true. I'm not knitting it, but I like the pattern. So I decided to put together some yarn that I have. I had to use my conference bag, so, you know, so this is the infrastructure assistant. Oh, that's not helpful. Coordinating Council. That's the conference I went to. It has a nice pocket for stuff. I mean, it's probably meant to be more of a farmer's market bag, but you know, it makes a great knitting bag. So I downloaded the first and printed the first clue. I am not going to cast it on though, but let me show you the yarn that I picked out from my stash. So you might be aware that if you're knitting along, it has a, I forgot what he calls the mohair dare. So I have this skein of this kind of white mohair. It is Hue Loco mohair lace, and the colorway is snowshoe. So I have that. Mom gave me this skein of yarn for my birthday. It is a merino nylon gold stellina. So it's going to have some sparkle, which I think is perfect for a Stephen West cowl. It's called Sheila's Glitter Sock. It's a 75-25 blend, 5 being the stellina, and it's Blue Boxer Arts, which is, I want to say it's in Wisconsin, but it's this lovely pink. So this is going to be, I think, the featured main color. And then I have some leftover yarn, and I've been talking about this for a long time. So this is Knit Picks Stroll, I believe, and it is the colorway Clarity. It's kind of a light blue. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. And then I have this yarn. I don't have the colorway anymore. I was going to use this for a mystery shawl. It's when he did the Geo Gradient, and I decided I didn't want to knit it. And then I have this non-dyed. I think I got this in a, it would have been a Freckled Whimsy. I think. I'm pretty sure it was a Freckled Whimsy. It's either Freckled Whimsy or Polka Dot Creek. I don't remember which. Advent. So it was the full skein. And I used it came with 2 full skeins of this undyed yarn, and I used one of them for a holiday colorwork scarf cowl thing. So I think this, I don't know if I can manage to hold these all together, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. So these are the colors. Hopefully you can see that. So this blue, light blue, white, and pink. So I'm thinking that I'm going to start this actually next spring, because it's going to be more of a summertime shawl for me. So that's that plan. So I've kind of written down what my priorities are. I mean, I've written them down. Whether I'll stick to that plan is a whole other story. So I'm hopefully going to finish the Spooky Kooky socks and start on another self-striping yarn, Halloween colorway by Freckled Whimsy. It's very pink. I've showed it before. I'm pretty sure I have it wound up somewhere. The reason why I'm using that conference bag is because I am actually out of handmade bags made by my mom and Randy, which my mystery cowl is in. So Ghost Horses, again, Ghost Horse, Love Note, first priority. Hope to finish that maybe this weekend. Ghost Horses will become my evening knitting as I am continuing to do this mystery cowl. The Sockoween will be like daytime knitting. Scrappy Sunday, I haven't really thought about it yet. I mean, certainly this cowl, this mystery cowl, is scrappy because it's made from scraps and stash. I have made some significant progress, at least on the yoke, on So Faded. In fact, I need to start fading. Perfect Colorwork socks. I'm not sure. I might put that at the bottom of the list. 100 Acre Wood Blanket, that's another one. And Lemontop Socks. I don't have very much done on those either. So I think those 3 things are going into hibernation. And then I plan to start gift knitting in November. I also have a brioche sweater pattern by Veronica Lindberg, using a sport weight repurposed yarn that I've tried to make a few things out of before. December, I have some West Yorkshire Spinners holiday colorway socks that I'm planning on making. And then for other stash down, I have the rugby shawl for some gold and blue Brooklyn tweed yarn that I have in my stash. I have the Weekender Light, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry for some pink Brooklyn tweed yarn. Herbert's playing. I don't know if you can hear him. He's kind of playing all by himself. Harley went downstairs. I think Harley needs some time away from his brother. Another mock neck tank, which I have made in a pink colorway before. And I'm going to make another mock neck tank holding a light blue lace weight yarn together. That was from someone else's stash that I inherited. And then an extra light bright tee, which is kind of another fade, I think. I'm not as familiar with it. These patterns are linked in my show notes. And then the Stephen West MKAL, using this leftover yarn that I just showed you. So this week, conference took up all my time. It's good to be home. It's good to see the horses. The horses look good. They're getting very fuzzy for winter, even though it's still, the temperature can still get into the 60s, and I still have to put bug ointment on Bragi. I plan to do a little bit of work with Odin today. Just you might have seen my last video, which was the Ryan Rose October challenge that had a few bloopers in it. So if you have, it's a short video. I think it's 6 minutes total, maybe. And, you know, I need to start putting the garden to bed. The zucchini is still trying to produce, even though I'm looking kind of out there, even though the leaves are all getting that powdery mildew stuff on them. They're still being valiant. I need to harvest some beans and, you know, just kind of nurturing along the potatoes and really start some greens. I want to put the most of the main garden bed to bed. There's still tomatoes out there, so I will probably start picking the green ones here soon, and hopefully allowing them to ripe indoors is the idea. I am feeding my neighbor's horse, the one who took care of mine while I was gone. We schedule our trips so that we can provide that service to each other. So I fed her horses yesterday afternoon after I got home from the conference, because she left yesterday morning for a trip, and I'll be feeding them, I think, through Sunday is my understanding, but I'll have to look back at my notes. So very easy. We try to keep things very easy for each other. So that's what I'm up to. I hope you have some great projects on your needles, and would love to hear about what your knitting plans are. So take care, everyone. Before I go, though, my trainer isn't coming over for at least a couple weeks, actually until Halloween at the end of the month. So I was planning to be gone this weekend. Those plans got changed to the 24th. She gave away my spot, my lesson spot, so we're not doing anything today. Next weekend, we are both going to a clinic, just watching a dressage rider with the French method of connection and collection instead of the German method. And this is very crude, so if you have a better understanding, I would love to hear it. The German method, from what I understand, there's more taking the horse into connection and collection, whereas the French is more, I forgot the word that my trainer used, but it was definitely a more inviting word and more along our philosophy. So maybe it's more encouraging rather than the German is maybe a little bit more demanding. Is that if you are aware of this, let me know if that's a fair description. I, of course, will learn more about it after the clinic, and we'll share that with you then. In the meantime, I'm continuing to work with Odin on some groundwork. I am itching to get out and ride, but I'm not going to do it without supervision. Both shoulders are doing pretty good. I think I start PT next week again, and I just need to keep up and do my exercises. Oh, one of the things I wanted to share about the conference. So you're probably aware or can guess that there is a lot of sitting at a conference. And so one of the things I did is I downloaded a workout video that I could do easily in my hotel room. those of you who are around my age might remember the 20-minute workout with Bess Mott. This was like I was still living at home, so early 80s, 1983, 1984 maybe. So you can find those videos on YouTube. They're not like in a collection of videos. There's just different YouTubers who have collected them, I guess, and so they're kind of scattered. But I did 2 of those videos, and it was great. I mean, I don't have the same get up and go that I did, but you know, the principles of the workouts are pretty good. Do some stretching, just move around, do some aerobics. I mean, they do this kind of jogging where, I mean, their knees never come up. It's more like the knees are pointed to the floor, and their heels come up to kind of kick themselves in their own rumps. I just marched because there's no, I don't have, jogging these days is kind of painful. So on my feet and my knees and my hips. So I don't do it, but it was great. And it made me feel good. There's some core stuff. There's stuff, I can't do. So I modified, but it was just good to have that kind of direction. So on that note, I'm going to leave it here and say goodbye. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.